a whole new Disney world.
In 1881, a journalist by the name of Joel Chandler Harris published a collection of fables and short stories he had overheard in his time working as an apprentice at Turnwell Plantation as a teenager in the 1860s.
Uncle Remus, his Songs and Sayings, published in 1881, met with instant success and gave the people outside the South their first knowledge of these beloved animal legends told on the plantations by the old Negro storytellers who had been handing them down from generation to generation.
Similarly to Aesop's fables, these stories featured anthropomorphized animals and were meant to teach the reader or listener a moral. The main character of these stories was a trickster by the name of Br'er Rabbit. He would commonly cause trouble among the other animals, but in the end he would learn a valuable life lesson. Over time, these stories would become beloved symbols of the American South. However, by the mid-1900s, controversy began to bloom. Most of this controversy seemed to sprout from the story's narrator, Uncle Remus, who many considered to be a stereotypical caricature of a slave worker living on a plantation.
He's heading your way again. Uncle Remus, the immortal storyteller.
However, throughout this controversy, the stories remained beloved by many, including the one and only Walt Disney.
For 4 generations, these magical tales of Br'er Rabbit and his talking animal friends have delighted the hearts of children of all ages and in all parts of the world.
Walt had very much enjoyed Harris's work, and after establishing his own animation studio in 1923, wanted to adapt them into a feature-length film. In 1939, he began negotiating with Harris's family for the film rights to the Uncle Remus stories, and in 1946 the adaptation was released as Walt Disney Productions' 11th feature film, Song of the South. At the time, the film was a financial and critical success. Its theme song, Zippity-Doo-Dah, won the Academy Award for Best Original Song, and James Baskett won an honorary award for his portrayal of Uncle Remus. The film was also praised for its extremely advanced combination of live action and animation. The story was split into 2 parts. The animated segments, starring Br'er Rabbit, and the live-action segments, where a young boy is visiting his grandparents' plantation. On the plantation, the boy meets Uncle Remus, who tells him the stories of Br'er Rabbit, which are shown to the audience through several short animated segments. These stories are adaptations of several of Harris's fables, such as The Laughing Place and The Tar Baby. While the film was originally praised, it too saw some controversy arise. Many people still found the character of Uncle Remus to be a racist stereotype, and others found the plantation setting to be idealized and glorified. It's this controversy that has prevented the film from ever being fully released on home media in the United States. Fast forward to 1984. Michael Eisner has just been appointed as CEO of the Walt Disney Company. While touring the Disney parks with his teenage son Br'er, he realized the parks were lacking in appeal to the teenage audience. So, to bring in more teenage thrill seekers, he pushed the Imagineers to develop more thrill rides for the Disney parks. This push to add more thrills led him to greenlight an idea developed by Imagineer Tony Baxter to create a log flume ride based on Song of the South for Disneyland's Critter Country. Construction on Splash Mountain began in 1987 and cost a whopping $75 million. To prevent the price from rising any higher, animatronics were recycled from the show America Sings, which shut down in April of 1988. On July 17, 1989, Splash Mountain opened at Disneyland and was an instant success.
Splash Mountain. It may look peaceful and fun, but the only way out is a long way down. Now open Splash Mountain at Disneyland.
In 1991, construction began on versions at Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom and Tokyo Disneyland. These versions opened simultaneously on October 1st, 1992. The outer facade of Splash Mountain is designed after Chickapin Hill, Br'er Fox's lair from Song of the South. After making your way through the queue, you make your way to the boarding station and board your ride vehicle. After you depart, you go up the first lift hill and pass through the front of the Briar Patch, where you can see other guests plummeting to their doom in the final drop. You then rise up a second lift hill and drift past the homes of Br'er Rabbit, Br'er Fox, and Br'er Bear before going down the first small drop. After this drop, you enter the first indoor show scene. It begins as you pass some geese fishing and singing the first verse of How Do You Do. Then pass Br'er Fox and Br'er Bear, skimming over how to finally catch Br'er Rabbit, who's standing outside of his house singing the next verse of How Do You Do, about wanting to leave home to find adventure. As you turn the corner, Porky Pine and Br'er Raccoon are singing the third verse of How Do You Do, about the danger that Br'er Rabbit is about to face, as well as a family of farming rabbits discussing the predicament Br'er Rabbit is in. Next, you pass Br'er Fox yelling at Br'er Bear for getting caught in the trap from Br'er Rabbit earns $1 a minute. At this point, the music transitions to Everybody's Got a Laughing Place, as Br'er Frog sings it while fishing, and possums descend from the ceiling to sing it. We then pass Br'er Fox standing next to Br'er Bear, who's stuck in a tree before plummeting down into the laughing place. There, we see Br'er Bear get a beehive stuck on his nose, and Br'er Rabbit laughing at him. While he's distracted, Br'er Fox traps Br'er Rabbit in a beehive and captures him. We then begin our ascension up the final lift hill to Br'er Fox's lair. Above us, vultures mock guests with phrases such as, "I'll show you a laughing place," and "Why aren't you laughing?" Right before the drop, we pass Br'er Fox's lair, where Br'er Rabbit is begging not to be thrown into the briar patch. The log then descends a 50-foot drop at a 45-degree angle into the thorns below. After that thrill is over, you enter the final show scene, where all of the animals are cheering for Br'er Rabbit and singing Zippity-Doo-Dah. We then pass Br'er Fox and Br'er Bear, who are stuck in the thorns and being attacked by Br'er Gator. Finally, we see Br'er Rabbit, who did not die, singing about how he was born and raised in the briar patch, and how he's never leaving home again. While its source material may be controversial and ill-remembered, there's no denying that Splash Mountain is one of the best rides at any of the Disney parks around the world. The way it tells its story and ties the suspense of the plot with the suspense of the drops really is an achievement in storytelling that deserves to be remembered for decades to come. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.